Boy, it's really amazing the amount of taper in this log. And this was the piece that was right at the base of the tree. But there was like a good 3 to 4 inches of waste at the root end. And then at the top here, there's barely any. My plan of attack for this log is I want to make my boards 3.5 inches wide. So what I want to do is cut a cant at 3.5 inches, just below 3.5 inches, and then I can start slicing this one at a time into boards. I've got enough thickness here where what I'll do is I'll cut at 3.5. My kerf is going to be 3/8 of an inch, and then I'll measure down another 3.5, and I'll get 2 cants out of this log, and then I can just start slicing them into boards, and I should get a decent amount of boards out of this log. I'm going to release my clamps so I can take a little bit of tension off the board, off the log, and that way it'll be easier to adjust the height of the mill. That didn't go as planned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this knob here, and then I'm going to pull this key, and 3.5 inches means we're going to have to lower this 10 stops, but then we also need the kerf, and the kerf is 3/8, so I always round up. So we're basically going to want to go down 12 stops on this bar here. So if I'm careful and don't let it fall, I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we just let it fall and tighten it up again. So if we check the height, we are at 7 inches as opposed to the last cut we made when we were at 10 inches. So clearly I need to learn math, because at 1/4 inch per click, that's only 3 inches. So I really need to go down another 4 clicks. Take the tension off, and then 1, 2, that's 3.5, 3, 4. So it was 7, so now it should be like 6, right? So now it's at 6, and the other side was at 10. So now I just got to get this side down to 6 as well. Okay, we got this side at 6. Now I just got to push the log back in place, make sure that this flat side of the log is flush against the bars here. We'll make our cut, and that'll give us a 3.5 inch cant. What you're going to see me do is take the saw and just touch the log, then take the tape measure and check the thickness of the cant, because I'm new enough at this that I don't want to make kindling again out of this beautiful cedar. So once we confirm we got the height set right, we'll go ahead and zip through this. The color in cedar when you first cut it is just amazing. And it's weird because all my life I thought of cedar as a weed tree. And now that I'm starting to do milling, I really appreciate it for its resistance to rot. And I mean, I do a little bit to color correct these videos, but I mean, this cedar, it almost glows pinkish or lavender when you first cut it. The cant ended up being more like 3 3/4, so I'm not sure if my kerf is getting narrower because my saw has been filed more or if I missed the measurement. But this kerf here is 3 3/4 inches. And so all I have to do now is stand it up and just start zipping off boards. And I should get quite a few from that. I am going to go ahead and see if I can make one more cut. And there might be a little bit of waste on the outsides, but I should be able to get some good boards out of the middle of this log. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll come back and show you how we cut these cants down. I went ahead and cut the other cant, and I had a little bit of trouble because it was rounded on the bottom, and I got it as square as I could, but I never mentioned in the video yet, what I'm doing is I'm using the Big Mill Basic, which is designed to be screwed to a log like out in the forest, and you use that to square off the log and make boards. A lot of guys these days are using the Logosol Farmer's M8, which has a crank system. It's a little bit quicker to set the height, and I'm sure it's got features that'll help square the log and such. So what I'm using is really not the quickest way, but it's easier than doing it by hand. But I never really said that in the video. So this is just the Big Mill Basic, and I've mounted it to my log table. In the future, it would be nice if I could score a Farmer's M8. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think it would increase productivity a little bit, and just, for lack of a better term, there'd be less fiddling. But we have our cant cut. We have our cant on the log table squared up. So I'll go ahead and cut off the top bark, and then I'll just start going down 1 inch at a time. And because of my kerf, every inch I go down 4 clicks, I'll be taking out a 5/8 of an inch board, which is just what I need. Up until now, I've been using the same tank of gas I started with, and I'm using a Stihl 066. So I got 3 boards so far, but it's time to top off the tank. You know, I might have been able to make it through the next cut, but I don't want the saw to die in the middle of the cut because, you know, while you can start and stop in the middle, you usually leave like a little bump there. So this is what we got, guys, and I'm sure if you did some finishing to it, it would look even better. But this is what we got, guys, and it wasn't really a big deal to do. So I am gonna go and fill the tank with gas. I'm probably gonna just touch up the edge. The saw is cutting fine. I really don't need to touch up the edge, but I just can't help myself. I usually touch the edge up every tank of gas with a chainsaw, and we'll come back and cut some more wood.